Hi Danielle, nice to see you again and thank you for coming. How was your mood? How's your mood been this week?
I've been okay, fairly stable, but still a lot of anxiety and panic at the thought of leaving the house.
Okay, I'm hoping our session will help with that. And how is your mood today?
I'm a bit anxious, but nothing out of the norm for me.
Great, thank you for sharing that. Let's get started since we have a lot of to accomplish in a fairly short period of time. I will go through our agenda so we can try and keep our time together as efficient as possible. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
After we talk about the action plan from last week, which I hope you did, we will develop an action plan for the week ahead. If there's another issue that you would like to address, we can tackle that at the end of the session. Feel free at any time to let me know what I can do to make this a better experience for you.
I will, thank you.
Let's begin today's session by examining the thought record you worked on for your action plan from last week. Can you tell me about the incident you recorded, and let's examine it together.
Yes, I had a panic attack in the stairwell of my apartment building on the way up to my apartment.
Okay, I understand that there are a lot of feelings and thoughts that are causing you such extreme anxiety that they are leading to a panic attack. These attacks are causing avoidance behaviors that are impacting your quality of life. I see that you really want to work on this in order to make a change and improve your quality of life.
Yes, I would. I have very little quality in my life being a prisoner of my own home.
That is extremely difficult. Let's try and break down your thought record from this past week. You were having thoughts of falling in the stairwell and not being found for days. You described these thoughts as being very vivid and real to you. These thoughts are causing you to become paralyzed with fear, causing real sensations of dizziness, sweating, and body aches. These physical sensations are in turn reinforcing your fears of falling and not making it up the stairs to your apartment. Is that right so far?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all of this is leading to a full-blown panic attack.
It's terrifying, yes.
Yeah. Okay, can you tell me how long after you start experiencing the panic attack it takes you to get into your apartment and come back to baseline?
Well, in that case, I ran up into my apartment without even noticing how I got there. I couldn't breathe or think. I was just on automatic pilot, and the next thing I knew, I was on my couch in the house, coming back to myself.
Okay, has your biggest fear of falling, becoming unconscious, and not being found ever happened to you?
No, it has not, but you know my history of trauma.
Yes, I do. It's a very difficult situation. But let's stay with this particular fear and continue examining its plausibility and try to make sense of those thoughts. I understand that those thoughts are very real to you and the situation you are worried about is technically possible. Let's say you did fall down and lost consciousness. How many apartments are in your building?
I think there are about 20.
Do all of the other residents use that same stairwell in order to come and go from their apartment?
Yes, they have to.
So chances are pretty good that someone would be using that same stairwell shortly after you have taken a fall and called for help.
Yes, I suppose chances are good. They can't seem to shake the fear, though. And what I mostly fear is the panic attack itself. It's so scary. I feel like I'm dying.
Right, so panic attacks are really scary. Our goal together is to prevent them from happening, but in order to achieve that, you need to keep practicing exposure to the situation that brings them on. In this case, it's using the stairwell. After some time, you will condition your thoughts to refrain from the worst case scenario because you will have learned from experience that this scenario is extremely unlikely. Because in reality, staying in your apartment indefinitely to avoid panic attacks is not an option. We will keep practicing this slowly until you are no longer triggered into panic attacks. Sound like a plan?
Yes, I'll try.
For next week, let's create an action plan around gradual exposure. What I mean by that is trying to do one flight of stairs a few times a day without actually leaving the building. After each time, you will fill out a thought record, just like the one you did this week. How does that sound?
It sounds difficult. but maybe something more doable, since I don't need to do all 3 flights of stairs at once leading up to my apartment.
Okay, let's recap what we have spoken about in our plan for the next meeting. We discussed your thoughts leading up to a panic attack when you are walking up 3 flights of stairs to your apartment. It seems you are becoming paralyzed with fear of falling and being left in the stairway for days without being found. Those thoughts, coupled with physical sensations, lead to a panic attack, after which you seem to dissociate from your body and somehow make it into your apartment. This is extremely hard for you, and your goal is to be able to overcome these panic attacks in order to be able to leave your apartment without having extreme anxiety over returning home. Our action plan for next week is you will leave your apartment 2 times a day, whichever time of the day works best for you, perhaps morning and late afternoon or evening. Go down 1 flight of stairs and then back up into your apartment. You may want to practice some relaxation techniques that we did together prior to leaving, like deep breathing. If it will make you feel more comfortable, contacting a neighbor before venturing out to ask if they can peek out on you 5 to 10 minutes after you leave.
I'm not sure I can let anyone know about these panic attacks. They will think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. Most likely, neither will your neighbor. Most people understand that panic attacks are beyond your control. I'm sure your neighbor will be happy to help. Whichever way you decide to tackle this action plan, try to create a thought record for at least 2 days out of the week for us to examine at the next session. Does that sound doable?
Yes, I can probably do 1 flight without an attack, I hope.
I'm confident that you can too. Is there anything else you would like to address today?
No, I think I better go home and start practicing. Thank you.
I will see you next week. Remember to take deep breaths and 1 day at a time.